Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Viplav, and today we will talk about a very important topic. A lot of people have a question how I did my journey. So I started my career as a QA. I was doing functional database testing. Then I moved to QA automation role. Then I moved to the technical lead SDET role, and from there I joined currently as a principal automation engineer. How was my journey? What was my difficulty? So today we'll discuss about that. But just keep in one thing in your mind that hey, QA is QA. Whether I call SDET, test architect, everything, my mindset remains same. The skill set is increasing. The mindset is same. This is how I see. So if somebody call me QA, so I don't take it as hey, I'm a manual tester or functional tester or performance tester. Yes, I'm a tester who is having more skill set now, who knows about the framework, who knows about more tools, who can think now beyond manual testing and how I can improve the manual testing. So this is how I see the thing. But since you know that how recruitment happens, what they look for, they will look for you, what languages you know, like have you worked on Selenium playwright, so they will have this question. So this is how industry is going, so we have no choice but to go with the flow. So with that, let's start it. So in this video we will discuss about QA versus SDET, like what is expected for a QA role, what is expected for an SDET role, what is the industry expectation, what is the skills roadmap, what is the tools and tech you have to learn, what kind of mindset shift you have to do, and what is the action plan we have to do. Okay. So now let's see what QA versus SDET is. Let's do a reality check. So the principle remains same. Hey, I have to find the bug. I have to ensure the product which is now going to the market is bug free. There is not much issue. So this is how the mindset will be. But the difference lies in the depth of engineering. Now, let's suppose there are 100 cases now I have to execute because some functional changes happen in my app. So I'm doing it manually all 100. So every time I'm doing it manually. So a QA is doing that. Okay, that's fine. They are doing a lot of ad hoc testing also good. And the finally product went and there is no bugs, so that's a good, right? But as an SDET, what value I can add? Can I do some automation around that? Can I design some framework which will do this on behalf of me so that I can do only ad hoc testing? So that's where the difference lies, and that's how you now become a SDET, right? So now you are thinking in the engineering point of view. You are no more thinking things doing manually. Okay, so let's move forward to the next slide. So the now let's talk about the expectation. So if it is a QA role, let's suppose you got an opening and you have joined as a QA and they are calling you a senior QA analyst or a junior QA analyst, whatever. So they will expect you at least this thing. They will expect you, hey, you can write the test cases, test scenarios, you understand requirement, you understand product, you have a good understanding of designing the test plan, you should know what is test coverage, or there are a lot of testing principles, you know, defect lifecycle, you know, testing life cycles. So all this expectation will be there when you are in the QA role. And maybe if you know little thing about Selenium, basic automation, how to launch the browser, that is okay for them. Because currently for this role, we are hiring you as a QA and we don't have much expectation from you to do some automation thing. Okay. And let's talk about the SDET role expectation. Here, yes, QA already thinks they're expecting you know it, and now you are moving one step up. Now you should have a strong coding skills. So whether it is Java, C, C++, at least you should have a good command over one language. You should know how to design a framework. You should know how to have some test strategy and how to design an architecture for a framework. You must be aware of designing CI/CD, and you should know about code review process so that if you have designed a framework and you are creating a PR, so that you should know how the coding takes place, how the review we have to do if you have some junior uh, SDETs under you. So all these things now we are expecting in the SDET role. So this is the shift. So expectation is, yeah, you are aware of designing test case, you know how to do functional testing, you know how to do non-functional testing, but now you are one step up, you know coding, and now I will say now you are becoming an engineer, right? Okay. Uh, so as I already told, it is more of a mindset shift. So now instead of you thinking, hey, I'm a tester who only do manual testing, you think like you are an engineer. Now you can think like you are a developer. You can think like a DevOps guy, because now you should see things in the engineering point of view. Now the app is not only the UI for you. You also understand in the backend about the APIs. You should also understand the database, how data is going. So I'm entering some data. Some APIs are called internally. Now the data is getting inside the database. So all this process you understand. Now you should also think on the automation point of view. Okay, if it is in React, can I use Playwright here? Can I design a framework for that? That 400 test cases I was designing and I was running it manually. Can I design a framework which will do, and whatever task manually I was doing, maybe with the help of automation, I can do it. I can put it in CI/CD every night. I can run it. Next day I can see the report and see what are the failures, and I can do my analysis. Right. Okay, so to become an SDET, definitely you require at least command over one language, And now after coming of the AI, now people are expecting at least Python, Java, JavaScript, because they are similar, but syntax is changes. So if you are good in one language, it is easy to learn other. And I will always recommend you should first start with Java, and then you can move to any other language for you with whatever you want. If you are very new to the language world and you are very new to the coding, and OOPS principle and design patterns you have to understand. These are all basics and it will almost remain same for any language. So understand what is encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance. So all this concept you will use. And you also have a design patterns, singleton pattern is there and builder pattern is there. So you have to understand this thing. And if you are aware of basics of DSA, that is enough. Now, coming to the automation skill, Selenium, I still suggest that is your first automation tool you should learn, because that is a backbone. And if you understand Selenium, its architecture, any other tool like Cypress, Playwright, or if you work on a robot framework or any Serenity framework, everything will look easy to you if you are aware how Selenium is made, how internally it works. You will understand how the internal call is happening. So once you are good in the Selenium, I think every other thing become easy. And when it comes to API automation, I will recommend you to use Postman. And once you are very well versed in understanding the APIs in Postman, then you can use REST library or REST assured in Java and do the automation. It will be a cakewalk for you. And for mobile automation, APM is a good tool you should try to work on. So you can do both Android and iOS. In both, you can do the automation using APM. Otherwise, if you want to really go more deeper, we have XCUIT test for iOS, and we have Espresso for Android. So that there's also one thing you can explore. And definitely, once you are in SDET role, not only simple automation, the expectation will be for you in the framework designing point of view, how many utilities you can create. If you have to design the framework from scratch, that is also the expectation. You need to customize the framework according to the need of the product. So these are all the expectation. Even you have to set up the CI/CD. So some part of DevOps also you should know. So there are many expectations when it comes to SDET, and that is the thing you have to learn when you think about transitioning your mindset from QA to SDET. CI/CD I already discussed. So when it comes to CI/CD, Git, GitHub, Maven, Gradle, Jenkins, GitHub Action, GitLab, Docker, Kubernetes, everything comes into the picture. Yeah, this is a little tough part, but without this, we are not complete, and as it must know all this thing. Non-technical skills. Mostly, I think as a QA also you have it. Problem solving. See whether you are in QA or in development or you are in DevOps role. Or in DevOps role, things remain almost same. So debugging, even if there is a bug and you manually want to read write, it's more of a debugging only. At coding level also, if it is if one element is giving a lot of error, so you need to see the logs. And now you need to figure out what is the problem there, or it could be any other locator issues, script issues, app issues. So all this will come into the debugging, and I think this non-technical skill is more important when you work on a big framework. So this comes always with practice, I will tell you. So until unless you don't practice, you will never polish yourself in the skills. So yeah, now don't get afraid that hey, Viplab has told a lot of things and it is quite very difficult for us to achieve it. It is not. See, if you make a good plan and you don't jump into result that hey, directly I will jump into Jenkins CSD. No, you take your time. The first 3 months, take out at least 1 2 hour of your time, and you work first on the coding skill, and you take any Amazon website or something, and then you take Selenium, okay, download it, and just you can use GPT now, and it will help you to design framework as well, and it will help you, hey, how to write your first test case with the test ng or JUnit. It will help you, don't worry. So you just ask GPT like he is your senior SDET. He will answer you everything, and even if you have any issues when you are coding in VS Code or IntelliJ, it will also tell you, hey, this is the issue, can you help me? It will help you. So do that. So initial 3 months you focus on coding and then learn Selenium. Finally, once you are done with that, in the third to 6 months, you start writing complete framework. You design it, and you can design it for web, API, mobile, or database. It's up to you, whatever you want to learn. I will say, hey, first go with web, and then go you involved in the API. You go to REST assured or REST library. You can explore that, but initially you can start with the web, and you can use Selenium, and later on you can go to Playwright, Cypress, and sky's the limit. And then finally, once you are familiar with this, then jump into in between 6 to 9 months to CI/CD and few advanced topics. So in CI/CD, you can start with Jenkins. You can start with GitHub Actions. You have GitLab CI. Even you have Azure DevOps. So anyone you can pick, and there you can design your pipeline, write your YML file. Like after pushing the code, automatically it should trigger the execution. So you can do all this thing. So my final message, it is achievable. It is just a mindset fix. in your brain, and you will require consistent practice. See, if you lose the practice, you will lose the game. So, and it's not like, hey, I did so far manually. People have fear that how I will do. Yes, you will have a fear, but as soon as you will practice, it will become your interest and you will start learning more. Okay, so you will get a curiosity. Hey, I want to learn more. Okay, so definitely that will come when you will practice. So don't have a fear of it. Definitely every human being in this world can do it. It is easy. If I can do it, every can do it. Okay, so yeah, that's all about this video today. I hope you like this. Please like, subscribe my channel. Thank you.